Hey everyone! Today we're going to pull back the curtain on a test that's a huge deal for anyone looking to study in Malaysia, the Malaysian University English Test, or as you probably know it, MUET.
So, are you thinking about heading to a local public university here in Malaysia? If the answer is yes, then you absolutely need to listen up, because the MUET is going to be a big part of your journey.
Okay, so, first things first. What exactly is this MUET? Let's get right into it and break down what this test is all about. At its core, the MUET has a really straightforward job. It's there to figure out how good your English is before you jump into university life. You can think of it as kind of like a gatekeeper. It's designed to make sure you're totally ready for all the academic reading, writing, and discussions that are coming your way.
So, who's the one running the show? Well, MUET is administered by the Malaysian Examinations Council, or MEC, and that's an official government body. So yeah, this isn't just any test, it's the real deal. In fact, it's pretty much mandatory if you're aiming for your first degree at a local public university. The whole point is to make sure you've got the English skills, and also the critical thinking skills, to really thrive in your studies.
All right, now that we know what it is and why it exists, let's get into the nitty-gritty. How is this test actually put together? It's broken down into 4 key parts, and each one tests a completely different skill. Take a look at this. This chart gives you the complete breakdown of how your final score is weighted. And wow, look at that! Reading is a huge 40%, and writing is 30%. Together, that's a massive 70% of your entire score. Listening and speaking are both important at 15% each, but this is a super important thing to know, right? Your ability to read and write in English carries the most weight by far.
First up, you've got the listening paper. This one's about 30 minutes long, and you'll have to answer 20 questions. But here's the best part. You get to hear every single recording twice. That is a huge advantage. My advice, use that first listen to get the main idea. And then, on the second listen, you can really zero in on those specific details you might have missed.
Next up is speaking, also around 30 minutes. Now, this one's a 2-part challenge. First, you'll have some time to prepare and then give a short presentation all by yourself. After that, you'll join a group discussion. And here's a key tip. The examiners aren't just listening to what you say, they're watching how you interact, how you listen, and how you build on what other people in the group are saying.
Okay, now we get to the marathon section. Reading. You get a full 90 minutes for this one. You'll be tackling 45 multiple-choice questions based on a bunch of different texts. And these aren't just simple stories. They can come from academic journals, newspapers, articles, you name it. So, being a person who reads a lot in their spare time is a massive plus here.
And last but not least, we have the writing paper. Just like reading, it's another 90-minute section. This one also has 2 parts. For task 1, you'll get something like a chart or a graph, and your job is to analyze the information and describe what you see. Then, for task 2, it's more of what you'd expect. You'll write a longer piece, like a persuasive essay, on a topic they give you.
Phew! Okay, you've battled through all 4 papers. Now for the part that I'm sure everyone is waiting for. How in the world does the scoring work? And what do all those numbers and bands actually mean for you? It all starts with something called your aggregated score. Basically, they take your performance from all 4 sections, crunch the numbers, and give you a single score on a scale that goes up to 300.
But honestly, that raw score isn't what you'll be talking about. It's this table right here that's the main event. Your aggregated score gets converted into a band, from 1 all the way up to 6. So, for example, if you score 260 or higher, you're in band 6. You're a highly proficient user. And this is absolutely crucial, because most universities will have a minimum band they require for you to even get in. So that's the number you really need to be aiming for.
Okay, let's switch gears a little bit. We've talked about the test itself, but what about all the practical stuff? Let's cover the key logistics that every single MUET candidate needs to have locked down.
Registering is actually pretty straightforward. It's basically a 3-step process. First, you've got to check the official dates. Keep an eye on the news, or, even better, the official MEC portal. Step 2, get yourself registered. If you're a school candidate, your school will handle it. If you're a private candidate, you'll do it yourself online through the MEC portal. And finally, step 3 is paying the fee. For that, you'll need to get something called a MEC PIN from Bank Sempana Nasional, or BSN.
So how often can you take this test? Well, you get 3 shots every year. It's held like clockwork in March, July, and November. This gives you a good bit of flexibility when you're planning out your year. And what about the cost? How much do you need to budget for it? The total fee to register and sit for the MUET is 100 ringgit. Now, this next bit is super important for your long-term planning. Once you get your result, how long is it good for? Well, it stays valid for a full 5 years. That gives you a really nice long window to use that score for all your university applications.
So, when you put it all together, the 4 skills, the scoring system, all the logistics, what is MUET really? The best way to think about it is like this. It's your official English passport for getting into university.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. This quote comes straight from the official MUET regulations booklet. It says, "The test exists to give continued emphasis on the important role English plays in Malaysian education. It's a system's way of officially recognizing just how critical this skill is for your future."
And that really brings us to the heart of it. At the end of the day, MUET is so much more than just another exam. It's the benchmark that's been set up to make sure you are fully prepared for academic success. So the question I'll leave you with is a simple one. Is your English ready for the challenge?